one of the most successful coaches in the past 5 years is on the move, moving from Fort Worth South Hills to Crowley. We are joined by the new head coach of the Crowley Eagles, is Coach J.J. Resendez. Coach, how are you?
Coach, Greg, I'm great. Crowley's a great place, and I'm fired up.
Yeah, you sound it. You sound fired up. I'm interested in what your reaction was, because obviously this was a hot, this is a hot job. A lot of people wanted this job. I'm really interested. What was your reaction when you found out that you were the pick?
Well, I don't think it's quite sunken in yet. There's so many great components to the program in the school. The principal's great, the superintendent's great, the athletic director's great. So I think I'm still having to pinch myself every few minutes just to make sure that it's real.
You're moving over from Fort Worth South Hills, where you were wildly successful, in your time there, 50-37 in over 8 seasons, but more importantly, or rather 54-30 in 8 seasons rather at South Hills, but more importantly, 42-12 in the past 4 years. You helped to put that South Hills program on the map. As excited as you were to be moving to Crowley, what were your feelings as far as leaving the program that you helped to build up so much?
Well, to use a cliche, I try not to do that, but it was bittersweet. The boys and the administration at South Hills were great. The boys did everything we asked them to do. They came early, they stayed late, and they gave us everything they had in the tank. And you can't ask for anything more. The buy-in from those boys at South Hills was incredible, and I'm proud to be a part of that history now.
You guys are, one thing that's interesting is you will be facing South Hills later this year. You're drawn into their district. I don't know if you've given that much thought, but what do you think that feeling's going to be like? I imagine it's going to be a little bit bizarre looking across the field and seeing the Scorpions.
Yes, sir. It's going to be electric. I can tell you, towards the end of the season, probably the late quarter of the season, it's going to be a playoff-type atmosphere. I know those boys, when I left South Hills, they were a little curious as to when we played, and I tell you, it's going to be a great atmosphere that night. I'm looking forward to it.
We're talking with J.J. Resendez, the new head coach of the Crowley Eagles here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, why Crowley? I know that you're a guy who's been in demand. You're a guy who, obviously, with your record, is someone who a lot of programs would love to have. Why Crowley? What was it about this program that stood out to you and made you want to pursue it?
Well, first off, it starts with the kids. The kids are great. From day one, they've already started buying into the things and the vision we're going to create. There's great support. The parents that I've been able to meet so far are great. The administration is great. And Coach Doc McFarland has a vision for the district, and it's, we need to be playing in December. And I love it. I love the expectations. I love the high expectations. And I'm incredibly fired up just to be a small part of it. It's a great district. I was the offensive coordinator at North Crowley, and getting back to Crowley is kind of like a homecoming for me, and so I'm extremely excited. And looking forward to getting stable and getting my feet on the ground and getting ready to go.
Yeah, you're taking over a program that is not far removed from some really outstanding years. Back in 2012 and 2013, back-to-back 10-win seasons. Last year a step back at 6-5. What is it that you need to instill in these kids and in this program to get them back to those winning ways where it's a perennial double-digit win year?
Well, the components were not that far off. Mm-hmm. And Coach James, who's now at Pascal, did an incredible job, did a great job. He's one of my dear friends, did an impeccable job of being successful, and him and I have known each other for a long time, so we're going to hope to carry that tradition. But I think it starts with that work ethic. We've got to get back to what's important, the core values we're going to instill, and make sure that we're playing, leaving everything on the field, and giving 100% effort in everything we do. And it starts with our grades. You know, we've got to make sure that our kids are doing right in the classroom, and it's going to translate to success on the field, I can assure you.
Coach, you know, one thing that strikes me about the move here is that, you know, you were a guy there at South Hills where you guys always had a pretty high-flying offense. You had some, you know, putting up 35 points a game and, you know, roll out of bed and put out 35 points. You know, last year, Crowley was a very defensive-minded team. You know, they only averaged about 19 points per game. And so I'm interested, what kind of offense can we expect from the Eagles under J.J. Resendez?
Well, I can assure you we're going to continue to play good defense. You know, a good defense makes a great offense. And, you know, when the defense is able to give the offense the ball on the short field, you're going to be successful. You know, and turnovers, we're going to get after those turnovers. We're going to get after the ball. We want the ball, and we want to be able to give the ball to the offense and give them as many opportunities as we can. But the defensive kids, they're just as part of the equation as the offense, you know, because they go and take that ball from the other team and give it to them and say, hey, go to work.
We're talking with J.J. Resendez at Crowley here. Coach, so far, you know, I know it's been a whirlwind for you. You haven't been on campus long, but do you have a feel yet for what your team is all about? Do you have a feel yet for maybe, you know, where these kids' heads are at and what kind of group of athletes you're inheriting?
Oh, there's some very talented kids on campus. You know, there's some very intelligent kids. You know, there's some kids that are eager to please. There's some kids that are ready to go to work. You know, there's some kids that are, you know, and for what Coach James has done, yeah, you're right. 6-5 was a little step back, and I think those kids are hungry to get back on the right track and to get back in those 9 and 10 win seasons. You know, now it's going to be tough. The district we're in is very competitive and got some big dogs in it with Boswell, who took Alito to the final minute of the game and really should have beat them. So there's some big dogs in the district, but I know these kids are fired up to get back on the right track and start playing some meaningful games and play after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you know, I'm interested. You know, you brought up your district. District 3-5A Division 1 is where you guys are drawn into. Boswell, Arlington Heights, you know, Brewer, South Hills. We mentioned them all the way down to, you know, Azle, Granbury, and a Chisholm Trail team that I know people have high expectations for. The overall, kind of sitting where you're sitting when you take a look at the landscape they're going to be going into in District 3-5A Division 1. What's your overall thoughts on what you're up against?
Well, I'm telling you, it's extremely competitive. You're going to see different looks every play. You know, the kids are phenomenal programs in each one of them, each one of the schools. I'm looking forward to it. You know, a 9-team district is not the most optimum. You know, I think we'd all rather opt for another pre-district game that we could try to get the pieces of the puzzle set a little better. So you really have minimal time before you're hopping in, you know, 2 games, and we're going to forego the spring so we can get our staff in place. But so we'll get an extra scrimmage in the fall. But that 9-team district kind of puts you right off the bat playing meaningful games. So we've got to be ready to go.
And finally, Coach, I know you're a busy man, but I want to let you ask you, you're the first one we're going to talk to, first coach we're talking to after the UIL announced their thing this morning about instant replay in the state championship games. Obviously, let's get to the state championship game first, but
absolutely, that'd be nice.
I'm interested in your perspective. You know, the UIL, if you hadn't heard, UIL has rolled out instant replay in the state championship games. I can sit here and you know, drone on and on about my thoughts on it, but I'm interested in what you think about the idea of using instant replay in Texas high school football.
Well, if we're playing in a state championship, you can film it however you want to film it. You can instant replay it. You can play it twice. You can play it backwards. If we're playing a state championship, I ain't worried about it. But I like it. You know, I think it takes the human component out of the officiating. You know, everybody's has been a part of bad calls or things that didn't go their way. You know, it's part of the game, but I think at that level, you know, there might need to be something where they can check to make sure they got the call right. So as long as the rule is for the progression of the game, I'm all in for it. And
finally, Coach, I know you're a big guy on Twitter, at Resendez JJ. Make sure you give him a follow. My question, though, and I texted you this last night, where's the Crowley Eagle football Twitter account? I can't find it.
Hey, it's out there. And if it isn't out there, we're going. I saw it last night.
Did you?
So we've got to get some Twitter games going. We got to get some Twitter feeds with Crowley football. Trust me, that's not lost on me. We're gonna promote our young men. We're gonna promote the great things they're doing. There's gonna be a lot of great things they're doing. We're gonna put them out there and show the great things that are going on in Crowley ISD, I can assure you.
We're going to build the brand. He is J.J. Resendez, the head coach of the Crowley Eagles. Coach, really appreciate your time. Again, congratulations on the new gig. Best of luck in the offseason and down the road.
Thanks, Tepper. Go Eagles.
There he goes. J.J. Resendez, head coach, Crowley Eagles.
He's fired up. I love it.
Fired up.
Yeah.
And again,
love
like the what he's done at South Hill. I mean, South Hills went back-to-back unbeaten regular seasons.
Right.
And I know there are people out there who are going to be like, oh, well, it's in Fort Worth.
Right.
Fort Worth ISD. I don't care.
Yeah.
Go find me the number.
It's a big turnaround.
Go find me the number. First of all, yeah, he took over a program that was in the dumps. Really was. He turned them into the preeminent power in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
There's that. The other thing, go find me a list of teams that have gone, that they've gone 10-0 the last 2 years, right? It's a short list.
Yeah.
It's a very short list. And I know he was in high demand, and so Crowley's very, very lucky to get him. We appreciate Coach J.J. Resendez hopping on with us and for answering my curveball question about the instant replay.
Yeah, he was good. I warned him. I warned him might be coming.
Okay, good.
It's all right.